would like to now speak about the third day of ceremony. Like I said before, third day was so much easier than the second day. Second day was quite intense. The third day was about sharing wisdom, sharing the teaching, sharing lessons that I'd received since I was young by the other side, the ancient ones, as we'd like to call them. So this was a beautiful day. We all gathered around and began to speak about the things that the wisdom keepers, the shamans, the elders at this time, now that the ceremony had begun, what are the things that needed to be ushered in? What are the things that needed to be exposed, talked about? What are the truths that need to come back for us, the people of this generation, in this time, this finalized time on the calendar? This finalized time on the calendar is exactly what we're living in. This, the end of the world, is not the end of the world, it's the end of the world as we know it. Like I said before, we will not be allowed to destroy our mother, but we were seen as able and willing to change. And so ceremony came forth. And here we are now, bringing in the truths and the knowledge that once were here, a very long time ago. And it's time to remember this. It's time to remember these truths in ourselves. It's time to remember how to live. How are we supposed to raise our consciousness? How are we supposed to be a people of a higher consciousness? It is quite simple, but also quite hard. Because we are human beings, because all of those who came before us, since we are very small, we are taught how to act, how to see, how to be, and it is ingrained in us certain things, certain rules. And it is very hard for adults right now to say, okay, I'm going to set aside all of these rules and learn something new. But it is possible. That is why each one of us were saved at this time to be here, because we can do it. Because our parents were not strong enough, but this generation is. Our children will be and are the offspring of the condor and the eagle flying wingtip to wingtip. It has happened. Many of us here in this room have heard about this prophecy to come, that the condor and eagle will fly together once again. It began the day of ceremony. It is happening. And now that these two birds fly together, the condor of the south, of the heart, and the bald eagle of the north, of the mind, our intelligence, they're wingtip to wingtip, and now there's a shift that happened. It is not one or the other, it is both. And the children that will come from this generation will be extraordinary. They will be the ones to live out and see this miracle transpire. We are the parents of these children because we are the strongest of the strong, because our souls and our willingness will push us to do the right thing, because we will not sit back and watch our mother be destroyed. We will not sit back and just let terrible things happen. We are changing them. We are strong. And our children will be the beautiful angels of what we can change. So, how do we do this? How do we change? We're all willing, otherwise we wouldn't be here. It is a simple concept. We must live from the heart and not the mind. How do you do it? It's hard. You can't stop yourself from thinking thoughts, and this is not what I'm asking you to do. Somewhere along the line, truths have kind of been here and kind of not. Many of them have been hidden. For a very long time, we've heard different religions, Buddhas, spiritual beings, trying to figure out how to get out of the mind completely, how to go back to the higher self and leave the human self behind. The message that I would like to say is our higher selves sent us here to experience being human. It's okay to be human. It's fun to be human. It should be enjoyed to be human. We are given these experiences so that we can laugh, so we can have joy, so that we can cry and have pain, so that we can learn great lessons and become stronger, more beautiful beings. I am not saying be the great I am. You are the great I am. Your great I am sent a very small spark of you down here to interact, to find love and joy and learn lessons and become a great being. Your great I am sent you down here to save something more miraculous and beloved than almost anything else, planet Earth. She is a beloved being to the entire universe and beyond. Your highest, greatest self, your great I am, sent a spark of you here, to be here, to be strong, to usher in this new thing. And so I am not telling you be the great I am, do not be human. I'll tell you right now, I love red wine. I like dirt bikes. I like loud music, and I like to dance. I like being human. Human is not bad. Human is wonderful. We are to be human and to enjoy being human, but from right here, not from up here. How many times do you base a decision on an educated decision? How many times do you make a decision by how you feel? This is the challenge, and this is what I'd ask each of you to do and try to begin. It is hard because we have been taught to use this and only this. When a man feels like crying, he will talk himself out of it. When you want to look tough in front of a group or a crowd, I sit here and say, don't you dare cry in front of all these people. But the heart can't help it. If you let the heart rule, you will always succeed. Every decision in your life will be completely perfect and as it should be if you make the decision from the heart. What is that spark that came from the great I am, and where does it live? It lives right inside of you. It's your emotion. Your great I am is your emotion. If you weep, if you feel horrible, something is wrong. If you are trying to make a decision, do I take this job, and you feel confused, and you feel anxious, and you feel nervous, and you feel horrible, the answer is no. It doesn't matter how much the job pays. It doesn't matter how much insurance you can get. That is all this. The higher self is telling you. It's telling you by emotion. It's telling you by how you feel. How do you feel about that job? What's the feeling you get inside of your chest to take it? Are you excited? Are you thrilled? Do you feel warm inside? Is the answer yes? Stop making decisions with the brain. Start making them with the heart. I have learned this lesson when I was about 10, and yet it has been repeated to me every single year since. Obviously, I'm not following the guidelines very well, but it's because, and once again, I was expressing this to my dear friend Jennifer, the other side is so full of love. They are just so full of love. How many times have you seen your child do something that perhaps you didn't want them to do, and they start crying, and do you punish them and lock them in the room? Or do you bend down and hug them and cry with them and say, it's okay, you know, we're going to do better? This is how they are. They love us so much. Our ancestors, the people on the other side, love us so much. It was just 2 nights ago, I was in my kitchen in the middle of the night crying because, you know, I'm getting a lesson for like the bazillionth time. And yet they just bent down, kind of chuckled with me, gave me hugs and said, I love you. They love us. And so let's start remembering how to interact with one another. Let's start remembering how to make decisions from here and not here. It's all love-based. We were sent here because our highest self loves us so much and loves this planet so much and loves each other so much, we wanted to help. And so a little spark of us got put down here. So what I am saying is, for one moment, all of these rules that we've been taught since we were young, what if we put them in a little handbag and set them down for a moment? And what happens if you are the great I am? What if the answer is you? Truly, what if you are the answer? If we realize this, we start being the answer. the things that needed to be exposed, talked about? What are the truths that need to come back for us, the people of this generation, in this time, this finalized time on the calendar? This final was so much easier than the second day. Second day was quite intense. The third day was about sharing wisdom, sharing the teaching, sharing lessons that I'd received since I was young by the other side, the ancient ones. I would like to now speak about the third day of ceremony. Like I said before, third day, I'd like to call them. So this was a beautiful day. We all gathered around and began to speak about the things that the wisdom keepers, the shamans, the elders at this time, now that the ceremony had begun, what are the things that needed to be ushered in? What